Hello and welcome to this week's album review, where I'll be reviewing How Do You Sleep at Night by Texan artist Teezo Touchdown. And I got my pajamas on too. Okay, so Teezo Touchdown is an artist coming out of Beaumont, Texas. Has apparently been around for a long time. I saw some people saying that he started making music in 2011. I also saw the date 2016. Which is the year I graduated, which I thought was kind of funny. I actually saw him last year open for the band Turnstile, who I'm a huge fan of. He came out, and me and my friends who I went to the show with, were all like, "Who is this guy?" Because he came out, of course, with the nails and his dreads, and the microphone being like a bouquet of flowers, which is like such a unique look. I love the way Teezo looks. I think he had a dress on. I don't know if he had like the football. I know sometime like recently he's been wearing like shoulder pads and stuff like that, so I'm not sure. But just a ball of energy, and his set was kind of shorter from what I remember. He did mostly covers. He did like a Queen cover. He did a couple other covers, and just like excellent crowd control though. Like I'm talking about like getting us to cheer, moshing a little bit. Really, really good, like good energy. And I hadn't thought of him until I saw that he was on Modern Jam, which is I think the second track on Utopia by Travis Scott. So I didn't really know what to expect coming into this album at all. All my interactions with Teezo have been very sporadic and kind of spread out. You know what I mean? Him opening for Turnstile, the Travis Scott song, even before that, the Call Me If You Get Lost song. So I didn't really know much about him. I didn't know anything really in relation to this album. I know that I know he did a couple rock covers, so I assume there's going to be some kind of that on the album, some kind of rock influence on the album. But in terms of the sound, I did not predict what we got on this. I can't say I'm disappointed though, honestly. This is like so different from most things. The opening track, Okay, kind of starts with this like, I don't know, it reminded me of like Weezer. It reminded me of like Weezer and early 2000s rock, which I thought was funny because, you always see people influenced by like 80s rock or 90s grunge, but it's kind of funny that like enough time has passed that like early 2000s rock is now kind of like resurfacing again in terms of like influencing people, which I thought was interesting. That like, goddamn, so much time has like passed that like I still had like I still remember it back then, and now that it's coming up, like that artists are using it now as a sound. Again, is like really interesting to me, and kind of funny that the way things are cyclical. But yeah, solid opener overall. Definitely kind of set the tone for the album in terms of the kind of angsty. It's funny because I wanted to say angsty teen, but he's totally like 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm 26, so it's kind of like, I want to say contemporary, but you know what I mean? Someone who's like around my age group. The next song is You Thought, which has really solid drums throughout it, and also has this kind of like fast. It reminded me of like Chop Suey by System of a Down. Just way less aggressive and more slow down a bit. That kind of that kind of like pausing in terms of like you say something and then pause, say something and then pause, but like drumming as fast as as fast as you can. And then halfway through, it totally switches up and becomes this whole other vibe, whole other song. Really, you get Janelle Monáe, who comes in with a solid feature. And her features are always nice, very clean, crisp, just perfect, like just perfect voice that fits with this track a lot. And he does this a lot during this album where like a song will like start one way and then switch up, and it might not grab you at first. Like this one I actually enjoyed more than the first song. But in terms of like something that you're like, oh, I'll save it on my phone, I'll add it to my library. You might not want to at first, and then the switch up totally gets you where you're just like, damn, like I'm totally saving this now, you know what I mean? Okay, the next song is which is just like a fun, shorter song that I really enjoyed as well. I really like, he has this ability to be like, he's not really saying, I don't want to be disrespectful, but he's not saying much in terms of lyrically. But the thing he is saying is so melodic and so catchy. It reminds me of like how Kid Cudi, people joke on like how his hums, his like like those are like top tier. Like he's top tier in terms of humming. And that's how I kind of feel about Teezo, is that like his singing is like top tier, where it's so melodic, and like he's not even saying anything like really, really deep or really intricate. It's just like, it's just so catchy. It's just so feel good. It's so like, I don't know. It's comforting almost. You know what I mean? So it's a very comforting thing, and it just sounds good. Vocally, he sounds really, really good on this song. After that, we have the song "Sweet," which features, I want to say Fauci. I won't say Fauci because Dr. Fauci, but Fushi, I think. I'm not sure, but they come through with a really, really nice feature as well. A different vibe than the first two songs for sure. I mean, this one's way smoother. I don't want to say jazzier, but like, I don't know, more calm and chill, you know what I mean, compared to the initial first two songs that came out pretty hard. Then comes the song Impossible, which is definitely it feels like one of the more personal songs on this album. He kind of talks about how, things could have been one way, or it's very much like obstacles in your life, you know what I mean? He'll bring up how like a boxer could have been good until he found out he couldn't fight. Other lyrics, the one specifically where he mentioned about a person wanting to be a rock star, but then he found out he was 30 or he was too old or something like that. Which I guess Teezo, like I mentioned earlier, he's 30 years old, so I'm sure like along the way he's dealt with a lot of maybe discouraging comments or people trying to like put him down in terms of what he's trying to achieve. And I'm so glad he stuck with it because he's very original and coming at a really good time. You know what I mean? I had mentioned this on one of my podcasts recently that I feel like rappers, and this is kind of like an experimental like rap album, and I think he's an experimental rapper. Rappers, to me at least, are like modern rock stars. You know what I mean? They're modern rock stars for sure, because we have rock stars now, you know what I mean? We still have people now, I say. But in terms of like to me, Travis Scott's a rock star, bar none. The guy comes out, has incredible crowd control. People care about his music, the whole moshing aspect of it. You know what I mean? He's a rock star, bro. Playboi Carti's a rock star. Lil Uzi Vert, rock stars, you know what I mean? In terms of like fame and in terms of like the pedestal people put them at, you know what I mean? They view them in high regard. Because of their music. And I think Teezo is no exception to that. I think he's definitely a rock star. And it's funny that he mentioned that line, man. I'm so glad he stuck with this because it's a shame to think that, there might be a timeline where he didn't continue with this, or he maybe like got discouraged when it came to, continuing to make music. Okay, next song, Neighborhood. I related to this song a lot because he's kind of describing, the environment he's living at, which isn't the best. I mean, the north side's fine. Don't get me wrong. North Houston's cool, but, you do see some wild shit, especially growing up. Mostly it's just cars that speed really fast when I'm trying to record a video. So that's nice. I really enjoy how he paints a picture of like everything that's, that he's seen, that he's interacting with. I also enjoy how he kind of ends the song with this dialogue about this dude witnessing someone get shot. And it's so casual. It's just kind of like, oh, someone got shot over there? Damn. And continuing your day. And it can be that way, you know what I mean? You could definitely see something crazy, make a comment about it, and then just go on right about your day, whether it be to work or whether it be wherever you're going. Which I don't know. It's like, it's definitely us being like desensitized to that, which probably isn't a good thing. But at the same time, it also shows that no matter what the environment is, you can there's ways you could be comfortable in it. Okay, the next song is Mood Swings, kind of a funkier song, feel good song as well. That totally switches up like towards the end and has this real heavy part, kind of in relation to the title, Mood Swings. Okay, so the next song is Too Easy, back to the rock vibe, you know what I mean? We go back to the rock inspired vibe of the album. And it's funny because like this one felt a little punkier, which I love punk music, always have been, but I wasn't really feeling it at first, honestly. Like the initial thing, I was kind of like, all right, like I get the, repetitive lyrics and kind of like, a lot of punk music is repetitive in terms of their lyrics, and it's kind of like almost like an anthem and a chanting kind of thing more than like an intricate song, you know what I mean? And then he gets me again because he switches the beat up, or switches the song up, the sound of it. And totally wraps me into this like whole smoother, like more melodic sound. And that's the biggest word, that I'm gonna keep saying in this review. He's just really melodic with this stuff, you know what I mean? Really melodic, and really is able to capture your attention and like, especially for me, my ear just kind of goes to it. I'm just like, this sounds good. What is this? Where did this come from? I need more of it. And it's funny because I wasn't gonna save the song at first, but once again he got me at the end. You know what I mean? I ended up saving the song because I really enjoyed the second half. Okay, the next song is Familiarity. Another song talking about kind of like, well, really the first song talking about it, but this kind of invisible clock, you know, that I think most people have now, especially people in their mid-20s, that are, you know, the quarter life crisis kind of thing, where you feel like time is ticking and you need to get, you know, you need to get active, and time moving as fast as it's been moving the past couple of years has not been helping. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people who've like started things, stopped things. I've known people in bands who've, you know, what's up when y'all dropping new music? You know, we're taking a break, this and that. And it sucks to see, but it really is, I don't know, it really is, for me, the message I took out of the track is to just keep going and to keep that kind of consistency. And that's what I've been trying to do, you know, just kind of keep that consistency and keep at it, keep working at your craft. Okay, next song is I Don't Think You See Me. Is that right? Yeah, I Don't Think You See Me. It's a soft instrumental. And the beginning kind of has this like Texas cadence. The way Homeboy was like, I don't know if that was the feature artist or if that was Teezo. I think it was the feature artist. But the guy's like rapping, or not even rapping. He's just kind of like saying something, shouting. But the way he's saying it, certain words he used, rolling and stuff like that, just reminded of like old school Houston music in the beginning of it. And then once again, there's a switch up. It morphs into this kind of smooth, real just chill track that I really mess with, man. Teezo has that ability to just kind of like really mellow everything out, you know what I mean? And with him, he seems so chill. So, you know, I just saw King Cruel on Monday, and I was thinking to myself, like, man, this guy seems, you know, backstage and interviews, he seems like a really chill, fun guy. He's always having a good time. He always has like a big smile on his face. But then his music is like the heaviest thing in the world. So I'm just like, I wonder where that comes from, you know, and I wonder where this comes from with Teezo, how like he has this kind of like, you know, because I saw him on Kenny Beats and he's real chill, you know, he's a real fun guy. And then you have this kind of like other aspect of him that's real, like not angsty, but kind of like, you know, more punky, more rocky, rock influenced. And I don't know where that comes from, you know what I mean? I would love to see. I gotta watch more interviews on him and see where that originated from. Next song is Daddy Mama Drama. One of the more interesting songs on here. I think I want to say one of the more experimental songs. But it definitely is the most interesting, to the fact where like I don't even know much to. I was listening to it this morning again, and I was like, damn, I really don't know. You know, obviously talking about like parental issues and stuff like that, or parental relations that he has with his parents, I assume. I don't know, man. It's such an interesting song, and it has this like real epic feel, especially towards the end. It just has this like epicness, and that's another word I would like to use, epic. You know, a lot of Teezo's music sounds epic. His voice makes things sound epic, sound grandiose, sound like big. This is a big song, and you need to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? I think that helps him out a lot. Next song is Nune. Shorter song. I think it's the shortest song on the album. Kind of a fun, you know, funny song towards the end of the album, talking about people kind of like that keep tabs on you, but they don't really like, you know, really fuck with you like that. They'll kind of like, they'll view your shit, but they won't follow you type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shorter song. Don't really have much to say about it. Really interesting. The fact that he included it, and I like his delivery is always just so unique. It's fine. I get like Danny Brown vibes, but not exactly, because Danny Brown's voice is so crazy. But I don't know. He has this kind of swag to him that's like, you know, real cool. I really like Teezo's cadence on stuff. Okay, so the last two songs I kind of combined them in terms of like talking about them. Stranger and the original was better. Softer ending, bit of a weirder ending than I expected. I thought the original was better. Lyrically was more interesting than Stranger. Stranger I thought was cool. Probably my least favorite song on the album, to be honest with you. He had some interesting lyrics where he was talking about his original life was better. You know, who the fuck is the director? The original ending was better. Who the fuck is the director? Which I really want to dive deeper into that. I'm not really sure what he meant by that. His original life, was it like more him not doing music? You know, is that what he's trying to like convey to the audience? Like the life that maybe him not doing music was simpler, you know, just, you know, making it better, maybe. I'm not sure really exactly what he meant by that, but thought those lyrics were interesting. I thought the whole concept of like an original being better than, you know, a remake. We kind of see that a lot in movies where like a movie will be remade, you know, an old movie will be remade, you know, for today's audiences, and people are just like, the original is way better. You know, Star Wars, the originals. Although those are different movies, granted, but like the originals and new ones, or was it the prequels and shit like that. So, you know, a lot of people have this, the nostalgia definitely kicks in, you know, and definitely is like, oh, this original story is way better than the new one. And for example, like Dune, you know, the original Dune that came out in 1980 or 70s, really, I'm not really sure where it came out. And then you have the, 2020 Dune or 2021 Dune, whatever it came out. And I mean, come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you really gonna say the original was better in that case? You know what I mean? I think there's certain cases that like it's okay to enjoy something new. I think people just see the fact that it's a remake and kind of like start tripping out on it. Damn, I don't have my glasses, dude. I can't even fucking see. Oh yeah, shit's about to be done. But yeah, I thought that aspect was interesting. The fact that he ended the album on that, kind of like, I don't know, it reminded me a lot of films. Like I said, the whole original movies and the remakes and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of remakes either, to be fair. Especially like the live action Disney remakes that they've been doing recently have been like trash. The Pinocchio one is garbage. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's just kind of like, oh, these stories are good. We don't have to change anything. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, but overall, I really enjoyed the album. I mean, as a debut album, this is fantastic. I definitely want to check out his older stuff. I know he has like a mixtape or two that was released previously, I think on SoundCloud. So I got to check that out and kind of see where like he's come from, you know, from then to now. I think he's a rising artist, man. I think you're going to see a lot more of him. Like I said, his look is insane. I love his the nails in his hair. Like, is wild to me. I don't know how that, I'm sure people have asked him. I saw an interview where they asked him. He just kind of sang along, you know, didn't really, answer the question. Other than the fact that he wears a bonnet when he goes to sleep or some shit like that. But yeah, I think his look is unique. His music is unique. And the fact that he's getting mainstream play like this from like guys like Travis and guys like Tyler, the Creator, who are recognizing this guy and throwing him in there to kind of like, boost him up a little bit. It's fantastic, man. It's awesome. Two artists that I really enjoy. The fact that they're like, discovered this artist and they put him on their stuff. And then he came through with this album that's really unique and doesn't sound like anything else. Him doing the whole rock thing, I think there's a familiarness to it, where I think maybe people who like rock music more, even like angsty teens, like I said, I noticed that a lot more rappers, Denzel Curry has he did like a cover of Rage Against the Machine. I think Kenny Mason, who my brother loves, has some like rock songs as well. So it's a thing, it's totally a thing. And I think it's cool. You know what I mean? I think the whole like new metal rap rock shit was kind of like, it was cool for the time, but like looking back on it, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? This, I think, can work better sonically. Other than that, guys, go ahead and like the video if you feel so inclined to. Leave a comment, as I mentioned earlier, describing how you feel. Subscribe, hit the little bell, the usual business. Superman review will be out Wednesday. I was supposed to drop it last week. I felt really shitty, so I didn't drop it. But Wednesday that'll be out. I'll record that tomorrow. I was gonna record it today, but I want to chill out for a little bit. And Friday there'll be a new podcast. So yeah, I'm seeing the subscriber numbers go up. So hey, I really appreciate y'all sticking with me. And yeah, that'll do it for this week's episode. That'll do it for this week's review. Appreciate it as always. Thank you, and till next time. Peace.